You know, guys, I always mess this up. It's broker plus and lender price. Broker plus and lender price. That's the combo. That's the dream team that you want as a mortgage loan officer. You're going to get up-to-date, great pricing quotes with all of your lenders with the best CRM, LOS, and POS all in the same cloud-based mobile app that you get to use. You know, the idea behind Broker Plus was, could we take a loan from the application to funding that thing and never have to get out of bed? I think theoretically we proved it. Maybe you could be the first to actually do it. Check out the product, guys. Get a demo. It is killer. All you have to do is click this banner right over there. Okay, so this topic is kind of an interesting one, and I've been thinking about it a heck of a lot, especially over the past couple of years. So let me ask you a question. What happens when people who don't own homes, who want to own homes, but cannot afford homes do? What do they do? Now, I say this because I think we're there right now. I think the vast majority of people who meet that criteria are there. So what do these people do? It's very simple. They don't buy homes. They rent. And this can be a problem for everybody. You see, year over year changes in rent on average, did you know nationally we're up 22.8%? That is a massive problem because after renting homes, the option down from there on the charts for people to do is this, which is becoming an epidemic in many of our larger, less affordable cities like San Francisco. Now, I just went to San Francisco a couple of weeks ago and I saw this taking place on street after street after street, broken down RVs in San Francisco. And I gotta tell you, the lack of plumbing is a real problem. Some of the most beautiful areas in San Francisco just stink all to high heaven. And that's the option below renting. Now, you might think this isn't happening all over the country, but what about this? In Long Beach, California last year, rents were up 52%. Problem. Is it just a California thing? No. Amarillo, Texas, up 51.8%. Austin, Texas, rents up 46.7%. New Jersey, 46%. Fremont, California, 43%. Oklahoma City, my God, up 42%. Nashville, up 42%. Orlando, 38%. And even Cincinnati, home of Joe Burrow, and by the way, he's a good quarterback, but let's get over him. Rents are up 37%. Yikes. So what's the play for all of us to do right now? Well, I have a couple of observations and none of them are really that good. One, I assume with inflation and people missing out on making their bill payments who own homes, well, it's going to force many of these people to sell the homes that they own, to realize the equity, to pay off debt, and settle into renting. So this is going to happen, but possibly not in the numbers our markets need in order to bring prices back down to something that are simply just affordable. But it's not going to happen as much as I think now. Why? Because moving out of a fixed rate friendly environment on a home that you own is wildly less hostile than the rental market, which is going absolutely gangbusters right now. So mark my words, fortunes, my friends, are being made right now by hedge funds, corporations, and anybody else who's staked their fortunes on the lucrative United States rental market. And with that said, one of the biggest ones, and one, once again, proof positive on how unhealthy our United States housing market is new home builders. They're moving from building for primary residence to building for rentals. It's a movement called build to rent, and it's going crazy right now. Get this, build-to-rent single-family homes provide a great example of Wall Street trends. What started primarily as a grassroots strategy employed by builders and real estate developers has grown into a multi-billion-dollar investment strategy, supercharged by large institutional investors and publicly traded REITs. According to Hunter Housing Economics, investors are going to put some $40 billion paywall into build-to-rent developments in the next 18 months alone. That sounds like a hell of a lot more than just a trend to me. And complicating the matters are this: millennials. See, consumers aged between 25 to 40 years old in 2021 are now the largest aged group in the entire country. There's 72.1 million millennials compared to 71.6 million boomers who are aged 57 to 75. Millennials are entering their peak family building years, and they want out of their early adulthood apartments and want something with a yard and four walls and good schools and nice restaurants and bars. They want houses in nice communities. And the problem is the U.S. housing market has effectively omitted all of these millennials, the largest generation ever, to being able to buy a home of their own. Now I want you to ask yourself, what happens when we don't give half of the United States population the opportunity to be invested in where they live? If they don't have a stake in the health of a community and will never realize the wealth from that community, how are they going to treat it? Now, you're saying, well, duh, Brian, I mean, we already know. We can see this in inner cities all across across the country, and it's rough right now, and I'd say, yeah, you're right. And it's growing out well, and it's going to continue to grow until we collectively treat housing like what it is. It's an epidemic, a national epidemic.